Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our first ever international LeTip Mixer Live. Not only are we broadcasting live from LeTip of Hackensack on Facebook and YouTube, we're also global right now on LeTip International's page on Facebook and on YouTube. And we can't be international without the queen herself, Kim Marie, our CEO and an owner of LeTip. So welcome, Kim Marie. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much. It's exciting to be here.
Absolutely. So we're live in the studio right now. We got Carl from Action Coach. We got Anne Marie, and we got Dr. Pine. So we're all here hanging out. We're going to be bringing a bunch of people in and out, but we want to talk to you first and foremost and see how you're doing.
I am great. I survived COVID in January, and a lot of people haven't. So it's a very sobering moment to realize how important LeTip can be in anybody's life because we're connected. We have people we can reach out to. We have a support team. And no matter where we are, we always know we can rely on someone on the team to help us through what we're going through. So I'm very grateful for not only having all of my LeTip family, but for having made it through COVID. And it was a pretty rough time.
Awesome. So the one question I do always ask everybody is what LeTip means to them. So what does LeTip mean to you?
To me, it means freedom, success, family. I am all about family. I'm the mother of 5, a grandmother of 6, but I consider every single LeTip member part of my family. So much so that I've been invited to weddings, to funerals, to babies' births. I take it personally, and if I can make it, I'm there because you are what's important for me. Without you, LeTip doesn't exist. So I truly think that family is the most important thing in the world to me, and that includes all of my LeTip family.
Absolutely. Awesome. How long have you been involved in LeTip?
Well, I got started in 1998 as a member. I was a banker for 30 years, and they said, we've got a lot of Rotarians, so you have to go find something else. So I actually found LeTip, and I didn't join for 6 months. I mean, that's crazy, right? I was invited every single day for 6 months, but the guy always said, hey, you got a great group of people here that you want to meet. You're going to love them. It's a free breakfast. I didn't know what to think about that because I didn't care about breakfast. I met people all the time. So I never said yes. And he was an attorney and a good friend of mine. And then I took my car in one day to have the oil changed. And the guy comes running out. He says, hey, my name is Grant Takakawa, and I am a member of LeTip. And we know that we could put dollars in your pocket, and you're the new banker. Would you like to see how? And I said, sure. So I attended the meeting, and I joined on the very first day. Now, who does that? The rest is history. I learned what LeTip was, almost fired 7 times, almost quit 7 times in the first 7 months, and then I figured it out. So well, in fact, that the owner of LeTip at that time, there's only been one other, came to me and said, I'd like you to go to work for me. So I made him follow me for about 5-6 months, finally got me into his office for an interview, and I told him I would take the job under 2 circumstances. He said, what? You're making me decide against one thing or another? I said, yep, that's how it goes. 1, I want to be your president in 5 years, and 2, I'm going to own your company. He laughed. He relocated me from California to Arizona. In 4.5 years, I was president. And 3 years after that, 2008, I purchased the company to really see if I could have an effect on small business across the globe. So we're working on small business in the U.S. And when we get that down properly, then we'll move forward.
Well, you're doing a great job. And does that mean we're going to go global? We're going global? I like it.
We hope. You know, we're in Canada, and Canada is important to us, but to me, that's not quite international. I'd like to see us in Israel. We've been asked several times to be there. I'd like to see us in Ireland, Italy. I happen to be on vacation in Italy, and I walk into my hotel room. There's a big sign that says B&I meets here. And I said, we have to fix that. So, you know, big dreams for global, but it takes time.
Awesome.
We've got a couple of former members in Israel. We can tap in.
Yeah.
We've got people around the world. we might be able to help with that.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Let's do it. So I want to remind everybody that we are live on International's page, on the Tip of Hackensack's page, and we want to make this as interactive as possible. So if you put a question or a comment in the comments section, I can pull it up live and we can answer those questions live with you tonight. So already we have Dave says, wow, something new. Hi from LeTip of Dallas. We have Maria says, hi guys, have a blast with this. And Andrea says, hey, Kim Marie, great to see you. So we have all these nice comments, but if you do have a question and you like us to answer it live, we can bring these up live with you tonight and spend some time with you. So Kim Marie, we also have John here. Do you want to give John a little introduction?
Absolutely. There's no business that does a good job without somebody who handles the finances, right? I have a great CFO that works for my company, John Picorni, and I'd love to have him come on and say hello to people. Most people don't know him. He doesn't make it out to chapter meetings very often. I tease him. He's in the dungeon upstairs. We have an upstairs here, and he has his own office. So we only see him if he's coming up or down the stairs, but you can't run the business without someone that has his acumen for numbers.
Awesome. Welcome, John.
So please meet John Picorni.
How are you?
I'm doing great, Doug. How are you doing?
Great. We're having a wonderful time here. Wish you guys were in the studio with us. There are a couple brews, there are a couple beers around, so we would love to, cheers you guys. But we're having a grand old time. We're excited. This is the second time we've done this live stream for our chapter, and I'm so excited to be bringing this also to International. So this is kind of the fun things that we're looking to do in the future. But what are some of the things that you guys are excited about for the future for LeTip?
Well, Doug, you said you always ask one question, what does LeTip mean to me? And so I'm going to throw my 2 cents in there because
awesome.
I would have been a LeTip member, I think, if I had known about LeTip. So I was a consulting CFO for about 15 years, which meant that I went around to small businesses and I worked with them on a short-term basis, helping them do turnarounds. And it was mainly small businesses that I was working with. I did pizza restaurants and construction companies and manufacturing companies and real estate companies. I worked with lots of different types of companies. And I got the opportunity to come in and talk with Kim Marie. And I realized that what I was doing on a really small basis of helping companies figure out how to grow one by one at a time, Kim Marie was doing nationally with thousands of businesses. And so I actually gave up my independence. I didn't think I'd ever work for anybody in a full-time position again. And so I joined back in 2017. I joined LeTip here at the staff, and that's how I came to here. And it's really, for me, it's about helping small businesses grow. So we do it on a sales basis. We do it on a training basis. We do it on a communication basis. And my being able to participate in that and help small businesses grow is really what makes it exciting for me.
Awesome.
Doug, I would like to add in, because he said training, this coming Monday on the 10th is our annual board training, and we've always used it for just board members. However, we realize what chapters have gone through because of COVID this year. So we encourage every chapter to attend, as many members as they want. It's one fee from 1 to 90. It doesn't matter. It's so important that they get the information that we're sharing. We're not going to train you on how to be a president. You can go online and look at that video yourself and be trained as president. It's about reaching out to each other, hearing the success stories from others. This year's training is being done predominantly by your peers, and it's the first of its kind. We think it's going to be very valuable and exciting, but we're also going to be bringing on technology to help everybody with more outside business. So when people say to me, why do we have to go again? We've seen it 100 times. You have never seen this training before, and it's designed to uplift you and support you in ways we've never been able to do in the past.
Awesome. And if it's anything like the training I did with you not too long ago, it's going to be awesome. I learned so much. So
great.
Thank you for
and
that.
I had to beg you to come. I hope you tell them it was worth it.
Absolutely. I did. I told everyone it was definitely worth it. I learned a lot. I learned a lot, and it was great. So if it's anything like that, now how do you sign up for that? What's the process to get involved?
If they go onto their profile page in Wired, there's a little pink ribbon at the top that says, take this URL, plug it into your computer, and click on it. You can register right there. We have 2 classes Monday, one at 7 o'clock Eastern time, one at 7 o'clock Western time, AM, and then on Friday, one at 9 Eastern. So there are 3 different classes you can take, and you'll be meeting and greeting people from all across the country who have been through different things. So they're all there designed to help you understand how we can uplift you, motivate you, and push you through the other side of COVID.
Awesome. That's great. And also a reminder to you guys too, that we have the luncheons and the happy hours that are also bringing people from all over the globe to come together too. So it's really great how we're getting all this training and stuff.
Well, today was the happy hour, or not happy hour, the power hour for Wired. So anybody who doesn't know the value of their profile or how to get in and read the tips that everybody's passing within the chapter, they can jump on that call. They don't have to register, and for an hour you can ask questions and learn things, have them take you through it. So we've supplied staff for that to make sure that we can give everybody hands-on.
Awesome. Awesome. So I want to remind you guys, everybody in the interwebs, that we are live. And if you have a question for anyone, Kim Marie or John or any of our lovely panel here, please put them in the comments section and we can answer them live while people are typing those questions and do our lovely panel here. Do any of you guys have a few words to say or a question for our queen of LeTip? Anybody? Go ahead, Emery.
Well, I'm going to start with a little bit about what LeTip means to me. When I started in LeTip in 1997, I met this pest control person at a chamber commerce meeting. And he said to me, I have this great organization. Please come at 7 o'clock in the morning. And I really think you would really enjoy it and could really bring a lot of business to you. So I said, okay. But the problem is that I was doing a showcase for Christina Aguilera in New York at the Motown Cafe. And I didn't get home until 5 o'clock that morning. And I said to myself, I got to be crazy that I'm going to this meeting. So I said, I'm going to go to this meeting anyway, and I'm going to see what it's about. Well, I went to that meeting, and I went to the owner of the company I was working for, and I said, oh my God, this organization, we have to be in it. I met so many people, and I feel that this is something that would really, really grow the business. So I did, and I was there for a while, and I left that particular company, but I was so happy that the person that brought me into LeTip brought me in as an individual, not as a company. So I was able to take that category and change my category and then be in LeTip as skincare consultant, which I do today. And it was just amazing that I could really grow my business in this group. And Kimberly, you're so right. LeTip is a family. It's a family because whether it's Steve Willen, who handled the insurance when my husband passed away, or if anybody in the group that I just recently had a flood in my basement within a half hour, the LeTip member was there fixing. So I can't tell you how much I appreciate everybody in the group. So it's not all about the business that I get. It's also about the business that I can give the people in the group, because I know they're good. I know I can depend on them, and they will always be there for me no matter what. So LeTip, I can't live without LeTip. And Wednesday morning, I can't wait to be at that meeting, because I can't wait to see my sales team that's there, that are helping me every single day.
So, Anne-Marie, who buys lip gloss from you?
You do. And I'm sorry, I apologize. I'll get it out to you. It's right on my kitchen counter saying I have to send this out. But it will get there. I'll give you a little surprise with it when it comes.
My pleasure. You know,
Okay.
that's what it takes for all of us is walking the walk and talking the talk. If you're going to talk the talk, better back it up with something. I think people are so surprised. My florist, I don't have one in Arizona. We don't have a florist in any of our chapters here. So my florist is out of San Diego, and she can
Wow.
do business anywhere because she's a telefloral or FTD florist. And I have to tell you, I don't look outside of LeTip for business. I look inside every time I need a product or a service.
Absolutely. And the lunch bunch and also the happy hour, I brought a handyman into the group. I got a tip for him for somebody who was in the lunch bunch. And I learn every single time, and I told Paul this, when I go on the lunch bunch or the happy hour, I learn so much about what I can do, how I can go forward, and how I can work in LeTip. So it's invaluable. I thank you so much, Kim, for doing that.
Yay. Glad to hear it.
Awesome. Awesome. Great job. Go ahead, Carl.
I just found a roofer in Pennsylvania because some members of my family needed one. It was too far for our roofer to go. And it was just so much, it made so much sense to just find the chapter, and it was actually in Norristown, and find the chapter and find the roofer and send a tip through and follow up with a phone call. And he wound up getting 3 different jobs out of the tip. Yeah. And
great.
it was it's the level of confidence you have. You know, we always start with our chapter, and when they can't do it, then it's natural to find other LeTip chapters, and you know you've got a connection, and it's a connection you want to take advantage of. You want to utilize it. So and it feels like a natural.
And you know, today there are a lot of members that don't even realize they're connected to everybody in the organization. I tell every realtor I meet, send a letter of introduction to another realtor in another state, because if they're moving, people are moving all the time. Why aren't they using a LeTip member instead of somebody they've never met before? So it's awesome that we've got wired now and that everybody's connected together. You've got phone numbers, emails, you can text them, you can send them a tip. It's just amazing how we're connected.
It's about 3 seconds worth of work to find just about anywhere in the world.
Exactly.
And which is one of the reasons why we want to do stuff like this, to bring people together. We're going to be interviewing people from all over the globe in every chapter. So it's really good to bring everyone together and show what LeTip is all about. John, I'm going to put you, before I put you in the green room, we got another special guest. Before I put you in the green room, John, is there anything in the future of LeTip that you're excited about?
You know, we introduce new technology in LeTip Wired and our mobile app all the time, but we really have made some changes to one of our pieces of technology, and we're actually rolling it out. It actually goes live on Friday. We're going to start training on it in the board of director training sessions on Monday next week. Little preview. It's all about finding more outside tips. It's about expanding the network of people that you know that can pass outside tips. So I just heard on the LeTip Wired Power Hour today that one of our members out on Long Island got his chapter's top tipper award for the month, and it was because he had 7 outside tips passed through this technology. And you know, this is basically he sets it up and then it flows tips. And so more and more outside tips are going to be happening this year. The entire year, we're making here in the corporate offices, we're making a focus on finding ways to help our chapters and our members get more outside tips. So outside tipping is important for 2021, and that's what I'm excited about.
Awesome. Great stuff. So, John, we're not kicking you out, but I'm going to put you in the green room because we have another guest we're going to pull on. So, John, stay with us. And our next person we're bringing on is our Presidente, Mr. Craig Andrewley. Let me click on him. Come on, let's go. Here we go. What's up, Presidente?
Hello. Hi, Kimberly. How are you?
I'm good, Craig. I started to say hello and thought, oh, maybe I'll be blowing it if I do that. So it's nice to see you type in there.
Not at all. It's good to see you. Thank you, Doug, Carl, Anne-Marie. I know you guys did a lot to put this together, so it's good to see everybody.
So how are
You're
you, Craig?
a great president.
I am. I try to be their president. I said it's been about 6 years, so soon it turns into a dictatorship. So we'll see. We're riding the line now. But what was that, Doug? What'd you say?
No, it was Kim Marie. This is Carl. One of my jobs is to keep Craig from getting swelled head. One of my.
Well, you
But
know, he
he's
was
hot.
up for national president a year or two ago, and it was very difficult to pick. I would have made him the national president myself, and then he didn't apply this year or wasn't voted for this year. But Craig, you've got it going on. You care for every member. You bring everybody together. You guys are just an awesome group, and I'm so thrilled to be able to be part of this today and be with you guys.
Oh, well, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. And it does mean a lot, right? Because we've said numerous times, I think one of the things that we live by in our group is it does become a second family, and we truly believe that. I know I said this on the last podcast, so not to sound redundant, but we do care for our members much more than what most people that aren't in the chapter can even understand, right? We want to make sure everyone's getting business. We want to make sure that everyone is doing as good as they can possibly do within the chapter. But you really, especially in the past year, rallying around your members, rallying the troops to get people, back in the game and try to adapt to a lot of what's happened over the past year, I think has been our proudest and best year yet. And, I don't know if we mentioned this on the last podcast, but it's definitely worth mentioning again if we did. We, as a group, raised well over $10,000 that we gave away to charity at the beginning of the pandemic. I think within the first 2 to 3 months, as a chapter, we raised well over 10,000.
Wow!
I commend the group and everyone there, because the board just came up with the idea. We thought it was a good idea across the board, and honestly, not the best of times to try to raise money, but it just goes to show what caliber of person and membership we have, right? I mean, it went so far beyond what I ever imagined it to go, where I thought it was just hey, let's raise money this week, and we talked about giving money to a local hospital, to the first responders, and it morphed into something so much bigger. Week after week, we were getting donations from companies that were bringing us goods. Sheldon was doing Facebook posts, getting tens of thousands of views. I mean, it was insane how much that thing morphed, and it couldn't have made me prouder.
Nice. Hey, Doug, I want to just mention Melanie Rasmussen just came on from Port Jeff in Long Island. She was one of the national presidents this year. So, Melanie, great to see you here. That's a mark of a great leader, just like Craig. The leaders step up and learn from others and share, and that's what makes LeTip such an outstanding organization in my book.
Absolutely.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Absolutely. So this is great that we have the team of people we have with you guys right now live is great. And I don't want you to waste your opportunity. So we want to make this as interactive as possible. If you have any questions or anything you want to say to our fearless leaders here tonight, please put them in the comments section. We can answer these questions live, or if you just want to say hello, just like Melly did. So she just said congratulations. That's awesome. We can bring these in and answer any questions you have live, and you better get them in quick, because I don't know how long we have Kim Marie for. I she's very busy later. I don't want to take up all of her time, but we're gonna as long as we have.
Hard stop at 3:45. I've got another Zoom meeting at 4 o'clock.
3:45 for us is in like 12 hours. But yeah, so what is it right now? For right now it's 3:10 for you right now.
Yep.
Nice. Look at that math. Quick on
Wow,
So yeah, Craig, last time you spoke about what LeTip means to you. How about we'll ask you, what are you excited about when it comes to the future of LeTip?
Yeah, I love planning for the future when it comes to our chapter. I mean, it's really one of the things I look forward to. Usually towards the end of the year, we'll come up with some missions that we want to really try to get to and attain. One of the goals that we have, and sometimes I maybe come up with them myself without much consent from the board, but I know everyone's on the same page. One of which is we want to get to 100 members or over by the end of 2022. So we've been hovering around like 70-ish right? So we want to get membership up to about 100 or more. About 65, so close. All right. So
65.
that's why I have a board,
We can all
right?
hear you, Carl.
So
I told you I gotta watch the size of it.
well, I learned from you, Carl, right? As a got to delegate. So we want to get to 100 members by the end of next year. That's a major goal. One of the goals for this year was we wanted to increase the number of outside tips for each member within the chapter by a minimum of 50% year over year, right? So we want to figure out ways to get more people business from outside of the chapter. One of the key points that Kim Marie is mentioning, John mentioned, right? How do we get people more business? It's great that everyone's using your fellow members within the chapter. When, I need flowers, I call my florist. That's great, inside tip. But we want to figure out how we can get business to our members from outside the chapter, right? Your friends, your family, your clients. Trigger words, light bulbs have to go off by, and one thing, Kimberly, you'll be proud. We always hit on the core tenets of LeTip. Every meeting, we try to emphasize one core tenet, like how important commercials are and changing that commercial, how important your visitations are, right? All of these things matter. And there's a method to the madness. And if you do it right, you're creating all outside sales reps for every person that's on that Zoom call or hopefully back in person very soon.
Absolutely.
Right? So we're a firm believer in that. And if we do it right, we can literally help these people, everyone in this chapter, grow exponentially from a business perspective. And that's a major goal for me.
And Greg, I have to tell you, that's been a goal of mine, is to give you more outside business. So when you attend the training this week, you're going to be blown away on how easy it's going to become for you to be able to give outside business to your members with you doing nothing except sharing an application and showing them how to use it. 5 minutes of your time and you'll be able to give innumerable, whatever, can't even think of the word, immeasurable amounts of tips for outside business to all kinds of people within your chapter. So I'm so excited to roll this out. It's something that John's been working on. He's perfected it. It will only get better and better, but we really need to make it easy to give outside business. So you don't want to miss the training this time. I promise you, all your members are welcome to come. We'll be able to take anybody on, and we're going to share with you exactly how to do it from your phone during the meeting.
I love it.
And if, like I said,
I haven't registered yet.
Absolutely. And if, like I said, if it's anything like the training I just experienced with Kim Marie, it's going to be awesome. So guys, definitely check that out on the 10th.
You have to go through to the end because we waited to the very last of the training to give it to you. It's that exciting.
Awesome. Thank you. So Craig, I'm not kicking you out either, but I'm going to put you into the green room for a second. We're going to start, talking to our panelists here. I feel like I've been giving them the cold shoulder a little bit.
No.
Oh, yeah. You don't want to be on the camera? You don't want to be on the camera, Carl? Right. All right, we'll do you last then. Yeah, we'll start off. We're going to start off with Dr. Pine because we have a new face in the studio. Carl and Anne-Marie were here last time, but Dr. Pine is here tonight. So Dr. Pine, welcome.
Wow. Thank you very much. It's awesome. And thank you very much for the invitation.
Thank you. So Dr. Pine, why don't you tell us about your practice, where you're located, what you got going on?
I'm a chiropractor. I'm located in Englewood, New Jersey. I've been there for 49 years.
Wow.
So what amazes me the most with all the technology is that when I started, we had a telephone and we had a business card. And on the card, it had by referral, and that would stimulate the referral concept. We couldn't advertise as a physician. You couldn't advertise. You couldn't take out any billboards. And we had nothing. There was no internet. Who knew the internet was going to stay? So when we started, it was just a fad. So when we started, we would just talk to patients, and then we would have little lectures inside the office, and I'd give healthcare classes, and then I'd get involved more with the community. And then I also got involved with Rotary. And Rotary, as a service organization, you weren't allowed to solicit business. So a few of us in the Rotary Club in the mid-90s decided to interview some of the people from the networking organizations, and I was one of the charter members in one of the organizations, it was mentioned before. And we brought them into New Jersey, and we stayed, and we grew, and we grew. And we were meeting at the Coach House where we meet now on Thursdays. And I had no idea. I knew there was another group that met on a Wednesday. I had no idea it was this LeTip group. And through all of that, my practice had grown, and a lot of the technology had changed. And I was learning a lot. And it was Steve Woolen that called me one day and said, I was leaving one group because it met on a Thursday, and I was looking for something perhaps and that met on a different day. And he told me that LeTip met on a Wednesday. I was off on Thursdays, and that's when I would play golf. So I would get dressed in the morning, and I would go early in the morning, and then I'd have to get undressed and put on my golf clothes on Thursdays. And then when I switched over to LeTip, I thought I had all of these years and I was seasoned into networking. And then I come into this group, and it was like going 60 miles an hour and hitting a brick wall. I mean, we have Anne Marie, was probably one of the top tippers in the group. Carl, I mean, would talk to people and so generous. Of course, our president, I just hope his head stays in the frame there. I mean, he's been awesome. And he was president when I joined about 5 years ago. And I've learned so much from the group and learned how seasoned that group is. And I had met one of the members, Matt Libyan, probably a month or two before at a local bar in Englewood. We were talking, and I said, and he knew his stuff, and he was talking his speech. He was in finance. And I said, oh, listen, are you interested in joining a networking group? And he says, no, I am. I'm in one now. And I little did I know this was a LeTip group that I would finally join. Well, they were happy to have me in there. And it was just, it's been awesome ever since. And these are people that, I look up to. And even though I feel seasoned, in Rotary and in a networking group, and even now in LeTip, so much has changed since I joined LeTip. It's taking it right onto the super highway, into the fast lane. And now I used to get laughed at, and how do you do Facebook and how do you do this? And I did have a BlackBerry, probably when I joined, and I changed, and I do have my, smartphone, my iPhone. It's not a flip phone anymore. And I started learning, and I do use LeTip Wired now. And I've taken some of the courses, but when I took the courses, it was, we went to a diner, we would have breakfast, and someone would explain to us how to network. Now I'm seeing all the videos, and I'm seeing all the webinars, and it's just blowing my mind away. So after being in practice and having a network of tens of thousands of people that have, thousands of people that I've taken care of in the 49 years, I've taken care of, second generation, third generation. I even have a few fourth generation presidents. So I'm pretty well established in that area, both in, for patients in the community, and also knowing all the other medical professionals in the area. I deal a lot with neurosurgeons. I deal a lot with orthopedists, internists. You go to them as family physicians. It used to be just your GP. Now it's a family physician that you go to. Everybody's a specialist, and nobody wants to handle back pain and neck pain. So that's been our specialty ever since I started my practice, and since it started in 1895. Medicine has changed, technology has changed, but the basic tenets of chiropractic has stayed the same for all these years. Find the misalignments in the bone, the pressure on the nerve, open that up, allow the body to function towards 100% of its ability, and then the body has the ability to heal itself. Healing comes from the inside. And
why did you become a chiropractor?
Well, initially I was out on Long Island, and I was in college at the time, And we had a large piece of property, and I had German Shepherds. So we had a male and 2 females, and we decided to raise pups because they had great lineage. And one of the persons that one person who bought one of the dogs from us was a chiropractor. And he said, have you ever thought about chiropractic? And me, and in the medical, I said, well, I said, I don't know if I could see working with the feet all day. And he says, no, that's a chiropodist, not a chiropractor. And now they're podiatric surgeons.
Missed it by that much.
Right? So he says, no, I'm a chiropractor. And he asked me simple questions like, if you can have a cure for the common cold, you'd be a millionaire. And this is back when $1 million was worth $1 million. So I started thinking about it, and he says, well, you've had a cold and you've gotten rid of it. How did you get rid of it? I said, well, the body heals itself. You have the immune system. He goes, what controls that? I said, well, the nervous system. And then after studying a little bit and learning a little bit about it, I became engrossed in the whole concept of the self-healing of the body and the body's ability to heal itself. Right. It's self-regulating and self-healing. And even now, with all of the COVID that's been around, we're living in a country that spends more than anybody else on healthcare, but we're not the healthiest country in the world. Why? We spend trillions, on all sorts of whatever they're spending it on in the government, which we do need. I'm not arguing that. However, we're not looking at things like diabetes. We're not looking at things like hypertension. Yeah. We're not looking at things like exercise. So when you start looking at this, it's so rampant. And when I do intakes on patients, I find out how much medication they're on. And I say, well, do you have any? No, I'm healthy. I'm fine. And then they give me a list of 4 or 5 medications. I said, well, what if you didn't take the medications? Oh, I'd be sick as can be. I said, then you are sick. Find a way that you can get yourself healthier so it becomes the other end of the spectrum, not just dealing with sickness, but in chiropractic, we deal with wellness. We go to the other end of the spectrum where we want to find out how to get better and better, which is eating better, sleeping better, thinking better, getting adjusted, taking the subluxations or the pressure off the nerves, allowing the body to function the way it was made to function. In addition to that, other healing arts, such as acupuncture, is very important. What does that do? Not just treat the pain. People go because they want to treat the pain, but in essence, what they're doing is getting the body to work at a much higher level.
Awesome.
That's great.
Great stuff. And we have a perfect transition because Steve Rulin, the man that brought you in, is here tonight.
Thank you.
So Steve is here.
Thank you.
Steve, we have a question for you. And Dr. Pine, that was great. That was a great explanation of everything that you do. We love it. Great job. Now, Steve, why did you choose Dr. Pine to bring him into the group? You're the guy who brought him in.
Something?
So tell us about Dr. Pine.
It's quite a web.
I remember if you don't.
I had a good client of mine up here in northern New Jersey, and he started a networking group. I'm not going to mention the name. It wasn't LeTip, but talking to him, and he mentioned Dr. Pine, and I got in touch with Dr. Pine and brought him up, and he became a great member. Incidentally, too, I actually got into LeTip through a member in a BNI group, a good friend of mine, and he said, "Look, I'm a life insurance agent, so I mean, the first one that wants to join is a life insurance agent. We're like mud through a fan." But he said, "Look, there's this networking group LeTip. And we know this guy, he's a life insurance agent, he's going to be leaving." So I got in through him. So these are not just inter-chapter, these are inter-organization tips. And it's interesting how these things happen. It's really interesting. Also, let me mention too, before you went live tonight, I got to talk to Kim Marie a little bit. And it took me about a couple of minutes to realize she's an overachiever. And, you know, at a young age, she learned Japanese, learned Spanish and Armenian. She, you know, took the leap of faith and got to where she's at. And I noticed this is pretty common among all our LeTip members. Most LeTip members, very positive, very outgoing, very generous, very hardworking, overachievers. I mean, look, in our group, we have several people who are professional musicians. We have a number of people who are published authors, number of people who jumped out of airplanes. So it's a different kind of a person that belongs to a networking group. And our group has grown tremendously. I think more than anything else, the quality of the members, the professionalism. I mean, you look at guys like Doug and Carl and Anne Marie, our top tipper, and Dr. Pine. So it's a good bunch of people to be with, and I find it very humbling. And it's like everybody said, it does become like a family, you know. And we've adapted pretty good with the Zoom meetings. I mean, look here, we got, as we mentioned before, a couple of weeks ago, we had members attending. Dr. Pine was in Mexico. We had somebody in Aruba, and we got our friend Tal, who was in Israel. He comes on several times, meetings in Israel. So it's a great bunch of people. Thank you.
Awesome. So Steve, any stories about how you brought any stories about Dr. Pine before, because we're going to switch him out. So this is a perfect segue. So you brought in Dr. Pine, and Dr. Pine doesn't know this, but behind that door, Matt Libyan's here, who Dr. Pine brought in. So
he was already in the group.
Oh, my bad.
I wanted him to come to the group that I was in.
Oh, you're trying to steal him.
I was trying.
Kim Marie is going to kick your butt, man.
Not knowing that a few weeks later, through a mutual friend, Chris, mentioned it to Steve, and then Steve called me to join the group. And when I walked in and I saw Matt there, I said that I thought I was king of networking. When I met Matt is the absolute king of networking.
Awesome. Right. Well, that's a perfect segue. Dr. Pine, we're not kicking you out, but let's trade you for Matt, sure. And let's have
my pleasure.
And Dr. Pine, don't forget there are beers on that table back there.
How are you? Good.
So Steve, since you're with us right here, while Matt's getting situated, you have any stories about Matt? You got what you got?
Yeah. Hey, when I joined LeTip, Matt was the president.
Wow!
And I tell you, he was tough. He was tough. You know, when you did the Lucky Devil, you were on your own. And first time he called me for the Lucky Devil, all the new members like scratching my head saying, "Who was that who spoke last week?" I mean, he's a tough, and he's a tough guy. He made a great president. Really brought us along, and yeah, he is a tipping maven. He's done a good job. He's been good for the group.
Thank you.
I have something I just want to
real quick before you interject.
It's from Matt.
Yeah. We're gonna come to Matt in a second.
Okay.
So Steve, everyone knows we had you on last time. Steve is our program director. He sets up all the talks, the speeches, and makes sure everything runs smoothly. We appreciate him for that. Steve, we're going to bring you back right now. We're going to spend a little time with Matt. So hang out in the green room. You and Craig can hang out down there. And Kim Marie, how you doing? I want to make sure you're okay.
I'm great, thanks.
Awesome. So now you get to meet Kim Marie. You get to meet Matt Libyan, and Anne Marie's got a story. So this is perfect.
Yes.
So, we've met. In Atlantic City and in Hackensack.
Awesome.
I've been to the chapter. Yay.
Just a real quick story. When my husband passed away, we talk about LeTip being a family, and Matt Libyan came up to me and he handed me some money. And I said, "Matt, what is this for?" He said, "I want you to buy a rose bush and I want you to plant it right outside your door, that every time you pass it, you will remember your husband." And that's exactly what I did. And the roses are beautiful. And I send pictures to Matt all the time when they bloom. So
thank you, Emery. It means a lot that you bring that up.
Yes.
And I learned that from a gentleman that used to be in LeTip, and he's actually related to Craig. His name's JB Gamero. And he he is a really interesting guy. And he when my mother-in-law died, which was, I hate to say it, 2010. And he came up to me and he gave me some money and said, buy a rose bush, tell your wife,
Beautiful.
and plant it right by your front door. And then when you come in the house, you're going to think of her. So so it's Sheila's rose bush when I come home. Yeah.
It's beautiful.
So a quick story about Dr. Pine.
Yeah.
I met Dr. Pine. He was trying to recruit me to his network group. I said, come to my networking group. At least see it. There's no chiropractor. See if you like it better. He's like, no, I'm really comfortable with mine's right in Englewood. Blah, 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 blah. Next thing I know, Steve Willens got him in the group.
So how does that make you feel that he listened to Steve? He didn't listen to you.
maybe there's some influence mastery that I need to work on.
Awesome.
And it happened before too. There was another woman, Barbara, who I knew. She was a client of mine. Someone had referred her to me, and she had this business, home organizing. And I said, just in case you're interested, I'm a part of a networking group. You might be able to pick up some business from it. And but I didn't come on strong enough. And she just thought it was something, casual. And lo and behold, she did some publicity, and she was in the Bergen. She was featured in the Bergen Record. And Larry Polay called her from seeing her article in the paper, and she came to the group. She loved it, and she joined it, and she became a very important member for a couple of years until she moved away. So it just goes to show you when you invite somebody to join LeTip, you can't be too soft. Emery's gonna love
Don't
this.
soft pedal.
Yeah, you really have to tell them like, hey,
Make
look,
sure they know you're serious about it.
That's it. That's it. And
Barb was our tip master for a while.
Yeah, Barb became really involved, and she loved it. And Emery, it is really LeTip at Hackensack. Sorry, but but yeah, you can't just say, hey, this is it. Here's what it is. If you want it, here it is. And that's kind of what I did those two times. It just goes to show you. Yeah, but I have brought a lot of people into the group. Yeah, I'm a platinum member, and it took me about so I joined LeTip, I think back in '99, and so I was young advisor, younger. Yeah, so I was probably in my late 20s, and another guy from my office had walked in to my office, and he said, look, I was invited to something. I went to it, and I just can't do it because I have to be at my desk at 8 o'clock. And so I went to it, and that was it. That was back in the days when you really still had to cold call a lot to get clients, and so this really helped me substitute that and give me a lot of my first clients.
Great. So I know, like Steve.
Yes.
So like Steve, some members, we can't really go into detail about like what you do and how you do it.
Yeah.
All the way down the hallway to the left. Oh, Pema's here. Oh yeah, I thought you were asking me where the bathroom was. We've got a laundry list of people here. That's the whole crew's here. Awesome, good to know. But so like I was saying, there's some members like Steve where we can't really go into much detail about what you guys do because we're on like Facebook and YouTube. But if you want to give us a little story about like who you are as a person, maybe the occupation and stuff, we'll give us a broad range about Matt and what you're all about.
Okay, thank you. So I'm grew up in I was born in Manhattan, and I'm 48 years old. And when I was about 3 years old, we moved out to the suburbs, which is a big deal for my parents. And we moved I grew up in a town called Glen Rock, New Jersey, which is 2 towns away from here, where we are right now. And made a lot of great friends and really created a great foundation. And I do business with a lot of those people still today. I went to Boston University after that, and I was a finance major. In high school, I had played football, and I was captain of the football team. I also became an Eagle Scout, which to me, it means a lot. And unfortunately, I didn't push my kids into it, but every so often it comes up in conversation when someone, either they come into my office and they see the Eagle Scout plaque and they become a client right away, or it comes up in conversation, and you know, if they have a connection to scouting, it really is an instant bond. And even that happened within the LeTip chapter, where someone's husband, and I didn't know this, but when he came in, she brought him into the office to see me, and he saw the Eagle Scout plaque. He transferred his, you know, his account in right away. So
Wow.
that's it. So I went to Boston University. I was a finance major there, and I played rugby in college.
Nice.
And that created a little social foundation for me as well. And some of those people became my clients, and there's still you know, there's a couple, there's two in particular that live very close to where I live, and they're close friends to this day. And then I graduated and moved to Manhattan. I worked for a lending company called the CIT Group. And then eventually, you know, I changed careers and got into, you know, financial services back at the end of '97. So long story short, I did get married in 2001, April 2001. Yeah, before 9/11. And we lived in Edgewater for a while. Eventually moved to Tenafly. I have 3 boys. Very involved in coaching. Right now I'm coaching a baseball team, a recreation baseball team, the Seattle Mariners of the Little League. And that's very, you know, it is. You know, now that I'm older, when I was younger, I used to get, and I was doing it because I have a son that's 18, so I was coaching his teams too. But I was intense. I wanted to win, you know. And now that I'm older and wiser, I really realize how much the kids pick up from it, and I can see it so much better, so much easier now. So I'm really, really finding that very rewarding.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great
yeah,
stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
So either way, do you have a question for Kim Marie, or Kim Marie, do you have a question for Matt?
I do. Kim Marie, do you find a lot of long-term people like me that have been in 20 plus years?
I do. In fact, our oldest member has been in 43 out of 40, or 42 out of 43. She happens to be my florist in San Diego, Barbara Bertrand.
Barbara.
Wow.
It gets in the blood, doesn't it? You cut yourself, you bleed LeTip blue. Unfortunately, today we're not building the loyalty back to the brand as much as we used to. Younger people come in and they want it right now, and if they don't get it, they leave, right? But they're leaving so much business on the table. So I was going to ask you, Matt, as a gold badge holder, do you have opportunities to work and teach people in your chapter how to do the same that you did to bring people in?
Yes, I have played a role in that in the past. It hasn't come up now, especially since we're virtual, but it is something I could talk to. But for a while, I was what was called the seminar director, and twice I put together seminars about networking. And you know, Carl, it's interesting. Carl has done some interesting seminars about the method. What do you call it? Where I took.
Well, it was interesting. So interesting.
No, the personality test.
I know what they were.
I know the personality test. I took the personality test.
Oh, disc.
Well,
no, it was 6 Steps to a Better Business, or the other one, Facebook Live.
Yeah,
Facebook
and LinkedIn
training,
marketing,
LinkedIn.
Yeah, but I really could talk to people specifically about bringing people into LeTip. I used to use it as sort of a focus of conversation when I would go to networking events. There would always be more than 4 or 5 people that did the exact same thing that I did, and I would a lot of times I would talk to them about LeTip and invite them to the chapter and everything like that, because I found it easier and easier to talk to them about that than trying to sell them something. Like, hey, listen, you know, this is what I do, you know, and I would tell them what I do, but I didn't want to really come on too strong and sell them something. And I would invite them to the chapter, and sometimes those people would come. I met Darryl Bryant, who was a website guy who was in the chapter for a long time at a networking group. I met, I'm sure there's other people that will come to mind that I had met over Mark Band.
Right.
I met Mark Band at a networking event, and I knew him for a couple of years.
Sorry.
Yeah. You know what? And it's Kimberly, you're really going to like this. I had met Mark Band at a networking event we knew each other for a couple of years. We had lunch, we had breakfast. Every once in a while, when he was in the neighborhood, he would stop by my office and give me a couple calendars and give me some of his business cards and some of his pens. He was, promotional he's an accountant, but he always bought promotional products. And but he never sent me a referral. And of course, I never sent him a referral either. Then when there was an opening for an accountant, he came in. It was a speak off. They voted for him. He came in, and that's when the floodgates opened. So I think if I had to count all the referrals that I've received from Mark Band, CPA, it's probably somewhere around 50.
Wow.
Which is a good number.
Wow.
Yeah, millions of dollars.
Wow.
Well, Carl mentioned DISC, and I want you to understand that's why I brought bank to LeTip. A lot of people are saying, why are you shoving this down our throats? Well, we're not. It's just there. I've paid all the money to be trained myself, so you don't have to pay for it. But can you imagine, historically, through any networking organization, 1 out of every 4 will join. That's it. You have to get 4 guests there, and 1 will join. And we wanted to know why. Because they don't feel at home, or we don't make them feel comfortable in a way that they want to be part of you. So bank allows us to figure that out. I'm an action nurturer. If you put me, when I come to the meeting with a blueprint or a knowledge, I'm probably running out the door as fast as I can when the meeting is over. So by everybody coding themselves and understanding when they send an invitation out, that is part of the invitation. When they come to your meeting, you're now having someone that's their own color meet them and sit with them. They're going to say yes 90% of the time because they feel like they're at home, right? You felt good when you walked into your chapter. You were lucky to see somebody that had the same type of energy that you did, and you were drawn to it. So we're hoping that will not only help you have more outside business and sales within your own company, but in LeTip. People want to join something that they feel comfortable in, like they belong to. And when we put them with the right people, it works every time. So thanks for bringing this up.
Actually, I went to the seminar that you gave on the bank system in Atlantic City, and it was very interesting. And I know Doug mentioned it recently that he's studying it and working on it. So I really should I should work with Carl and Doug.
It's really you're mentioning, essentially you're mentioning the conversion rate, 25% join. Well, that's our conversion rate. I mean, I'm a business coach, and one of the things I investigate with any business I'm working with is, what's your conversion rate? How many leads are you getting in? So how many people you're talking to, and what percentage of them you turn into paying clients? Every business owner and every LeTip chapter needs to know that.
Exactly.
And then you find strategies in order to improve your conversion rate. So, if you're talking to them the wrong way, they are not going to hear you, right? You have to talk to them in a style in which they can connect with you. So learning about that is really important. It's about learning about yourself, but learning about the person across the table from you. And then the other part of it, and it's like beating a dead horse maybe, but if you know your numbers, right? If you measure it, you can manage it. If you don't measure it, you're missing out on all the information that can help you improve.
Amen. Did you know we have the lunch bunch and the power hour for Wired and the happy hours? But did you know that once a month, the 3rd Tuesday of the month, we have a power hour for bank? So you can come and bring your commercials. We're having one on the 17th, 18th of May, and Sherry Tree herself will be teaching it how to use all 4 colors in one commercial. So you're not leaving anybody out when you're selling to them.
Wow.
Great.
It's
when is that again?
It's on the 18th of May. Is that Tuesday? Yeah, Tuesday, the 18th of May at noon Pacific Standard Time. And then we post all of these to Wired afterwards so that people can get in on it, right?
Yeah.
Because this is huge, Carl. You're right. If you don't watch the numbers, you don't know where you're going. And if you're only
know where you're going.
5%, you got to increase it.
If you don't know your destination, any road will take you there.
Absolutely. Might take you a year or 2, but you'll get there.
Great stuff, guys. Great stuff, guys. Let's see the people sleeping down here in the green room. Let's see if they're still awake. Hey, Craig, how you doing?
I was aware. You got me at a good time.
So, Craig, you got anything you want to ask our lovely panel here, or Kim Marie? How you doing down there in the green room, Craig?
I'm doing good, getting a little bit of work done while I'm listening. It sounds
Nice.
it's like very relaxing for me. So
Nice.
listen, Kimberly, I guess I'll have a question for you. Well, first off, is that Matt men wear pink? I love that. Kimberly, so tell me a little bit about, I know we're, LeTip Wired, a lot of the things that we're discussing, a lot of new initiatives. What's like a massive goal for LeTip International for 2020, let's say for 2022, projecting out even further past this year?
My goal is to keep track through Wired, which is why all tips now are required to go through Wired. We want to make sure that we're getting you 80% business from the outside. So we've built this format and this structure to be able to actually count the numbers, like Carl is saying. Before, we didn't even get reports from you, right? We had no idea what you were doing or how to help actual members. Now we can see the tips. We know which chapter's tipping, percentage of inside versus outside, as you can see when you run your reports. So we can gear our training and our support to you in areas that we've never been able to even know about before. And that's the whole goal for me. I want to keep America, America. I'm totally engrossed, focused, and in love with small business. We make the difference. So we need to reach out and grab as many of them as we can to be part of us, because that's the only way we're going to survive. COVID hit, and guess what? LeTip members are still in business. People who were on the outside, and I warned people about this before, are gone. Thousands of restaurants in the restaurant industry closed for good, right? We are losing people right and left. So we need to reach out and have them come to us in our chapters to support us and become part of the family so they can thrive and grow and remain strong, because small business is what the money that they're spending at the government level, that's our money. We better be talking about it and bringing in small business and saying, stop spending it. Let's help us grow and survive, because we're the ones paying you to be there. Sorry, that's my own little political thing.
Wow.
So,
Are you running for president in 2020, 2024, whatever year that is?
no, I have enough time trying to get you guys educated, right? I just want to do business.
Well, while you're warmed up, while you're heated up, is there any tips you want to give us that might be a little like a teaser for the training that's coming up? Is there anything that you want to give us a little taste?
Well, you're going to get to meet the new board of advisors that was created in 2020. I honestly know that I can't represent you because I'm not in a chapter every week, right? I no longer belong to a chapter, so I don't get to see the day-to-day grind. So I hand-selected 10 individuals across the country to represent the members, their peers. We need to add a few more, but right now we're at 10. They worked all year long to go through the bylaws independently and take out the things that were antiquated, add things in that needed to be done. We listened to all the members. So now if we have a change to the bylaws, it happens like that at a board meeting, and we can put it online and put it in green so you know that the changes are there. But you're going to get to meet that board and hear from them on some of the changes. You're going to hear success stories that are amazing, people who've actually pivoted their entire business into something else and how they did it. How to run hybrid meetings alongside of either in Zoom all by itself or hybrid, meaning both in person and Zoom. You saw Melanie on the call. Her chapter does a great job with a hybrid meeting. So we want to give you tips and tricks that will help you get through COVID even stronger. And there's just so much technology. Technology is everything today. And I've been told that we are one of the top in the list of any networking organizations in the world for the type of technology we're bringing to our members. I want to give it to you all. I want to keep the dollars in your pocket and make sure that you're making lots of money. My favorite song on TV this day is Lots of Money, and he's driving, right? And the little thing in the front's talking, that's a car deal. You have to make lots of money, but when you make it, don't hold it tight to the chest. Open your arms and help others, because we've got a long road to go to make sure that small America survives.
Right.
Those are my tips. You don't want to miss the training. I would like to give a shout out, since I should have left already 5 minutes ago. I would like to wish every mother on the call a happy Mother's Day. we wouldn't be here without our mothers, right? Mothers mean everything. They've raised us. They brought us to where we are today. And without our mothers, we'd be nothing. So mothers, thank you so very much. I wish you a happy Mother's Day and hope that it's a great opportunity for you to enjoy your family and the day, because it's all about you. Thanks, Doug.
Excellent. Thank you.
Great stuff. Absolutely. And what we call them, mamapreneurs, mamanures, mamapreneurs. I'm tongue tied right now. Mamapreneurs. Someone help me out here.
Mamapreneurs.
Mom, just call her mom.
Mompreneurs.
Well, our LeTip members are mamapreneurs.
Right.
No one likes it. No one likes it. All right, I tried.
Doug,
Well,
I'm going to run. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it so much. Thank you.
Thank you for letting me be here. See you later.
Absolutely. See you
Bye-bye.
later.
Bye.
All right. So we're cooking. We're cooking here, guys.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
We're cooking here, guys. I want to remind you that we are live and we want to make this as interactive as possible. So if you have a question for any of our lovely panel right here, don't hesitate to put it in the comment section. Like right now, Matt's giving us a little clapping of the hands, and we also got LeTip of Lower Bucks in the building. So look, this is international. This is global right now. And what we're doing right now is trying to show people who aren't necessarily in the group how great it is to be part of LeTip, how awesome it is to be part of the family. So if you're watching this right now, you might want to share this video with a friend who you think that might want to join LeTip, or just share it to your Facebook feed to show people who not necessarily are in the group about what we do. And if you're watching and you're not in the group, guess what? It's all good. Put in the comment section any questions you might have, because we would love to interact with you and answer questions that you might have. Carl, you were about to suggest something. Do you have anything you would like to add?
Well, no, there were two things. One thing that I was thinking about doing was moving out of my seat here, because
You're
I
trying
know
to leave
that
me?
I'm
joking.
In the room, and I really want to see a chance to get a couple other members of our group on here. So why don't we bring some?
Yeah, we can play some musical chairs.
And we'll play some musical chairs. And let me say, as I kind of make it a bit of an exit here, LeTip is a great organization. LeTip of Hackensack is a phenomenal organization, phenomenal group of people, and take it from me as a business coach. Networking needs to be a key part of strategy for you for a whole lot of reasons, including growing your business. So if you're not in a networking group, you better get on with it. And I can only tell you that you're meeting some people here today who've been really, really good at their business and at networking. And if the seat is open in our LeTip of Hackensack group, you ought to check it out. Contact us, and if it's open, we'll invite you in to join one of our meetings, because we are looking for a number of different seats right now in our growth and attempting to get to where Craig has set a goal for us. So, if you're a painting contractor, if you're a limo service,
Massage therapist.
if you're a massage therapist, if you're a dog groomer, if you're a dog trainer, there are a whole lot of others.
Yeah, so definitely message the LeTip of Hackensack page, and we will answer you instantly. But also, we want to remind you, we are live internationally. So if you own a business and you're not in LeTip, definitely look what LeTip groups or chapters are in your area. Awesome point. Great point. You know what?
Carl. That's great. If you're in an area and you're looking for a networking group and there's no LeTip chapter there,
bingo.
Start a new chapter.
So you should definitely reach out to us. Whether it's LeTip International or LeTip of Hackensack, message me and say, look, there's no LeTip chapter here. We want to start one, and we will definitely set you on the right course to do that as well. Great point, Carl.
Excellent.
So Carl's got Nancy. You're gonna musical chairs. You're gonna go get a beer.
I know everybody wants to hear from me all the time, because and I am so much more than just another pretty face.
You're gonna cheers me before you go.
Let's give a chance for some of the other members to jump in here, and they can
absolutely.
You can hear from them too.
Absolutely.
So for everybody who's listening, thank you. It was great. Be in touch, please.
Thank you, Carl.
Nice,
Thank you,
guys.
Carl.
Good job.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good job, Brian.
So while we're doing some musical chairs, let's get Steve this time. We got Craig last time. Steve, you still awake?
Oh yeah, still here. Great
Nice,
meeting.
nice.
Great meeting.
Nice. Steve, do you have any input from anything you heard? Anything you want to add so far tonight?
Well, gee, at first it's the first time I met Kim Marie, and yeah, it's you got to belong to something. If you want to grow your business, there's no reason why you would not want to get involved in a group like LeTip. You know, it's for me, it's been an awesome experience. And you know, I've been also a member, not as long as Matt, but probably 20 years, man. I've seen members join, and while they were members, they became married, they had kids, they got divorced, you know, and it is like a family, you know, and it's a great job you guys are doing too, you know, setting up this podcast. Really good job.
Thank you. Appreciate it. And we got Pema in the building. What's up, brother?
All right.
The question often comes up: who is more handsome, Craig or Pema?
Wow. Wow. I'll bring him in. I'll let him go. Let's go. What do we got over here?
No comment. He's tall, dark, and handsome, that guy.
Awesome. So I'm going to put you guys back. Don't fall asleep. I'm going to put you back in the waiting room because we have our next
Doug, I
guest
got to
here.
run myself. But sorry
Okay,
to
so
interrupt.
before you go, anything you would like to add before you run? The floor is yours, Craig. Putting you on the spot. You're welcome.
Well, I wanted to say thank you guys for doing this. It's been great, and it just shows how much we're kind of thinking outside the box as a chapter, and we are looking for new members to grow our chapter. We want quality membership. We want quality people that can help us grow, and then we can help you grow in turn. You know, I'm excited about the rest of this year. You know, things are reopening, so that's obviously a huge deal. I'm looking forward to not only the end of this year, but also next year. And again, I want to thank my group and all the membership of my group. You guys put a lot of faith in me, and it's not me that does it. It's you guys. You guys are the people that keep every meeting going. You guys are the people that keep business going. You guys are the people that make everyone feel at home and like a family. So to my chapter, you guys are the best, and I appreciate you more than you can ever imagine. Other than that, I'm out. I got to run home. My wife's going to kill me. So I'll see you guys later. Have a good
Cheers,
night.
Craig. Cheers, Craig. Thank you, our Presidente. All right. So next up, we have Pema from Allied Construction Roofing, and I definitely can attest. I've seen him in action. I see him working. He kicks ass. He's the best in the business. So Pema, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do and what LeTip means to you?
Cool. Thanks, Doug. Thanks, everyone, for being here. It's been great. Great info you guys are all sharing. Where am I supposed to look? With all these
Wherever you like. Be casual. You
can
could talk to me. That camera's on you. We got it.
All right, cool. My name is Pema from Allied Construction and Roofing. I'm the Director of Operations. We are a residential roofing, siding, and solar contractor. We're residential and commercial. I've been in LeTip for about a year. LeTip has been a great experience. LeTip has been a great experience. Oh, excuse me. I'm all caught up and
Sit up for a sec.
I'm being restricted here.
Sit up for a sec. There we go. Technical difficulties.
Apologies. I'm not
Don't
a
worry.
natural.
The mic doesn't bite. The mic doesn't bite.
I'm not as quite as good as all these folks here. So yeah, LeTip's been great. All these people are, you know, like a family. They all really try to help each other, share a lot of great business ideas, especially during COVID. Just a lot of ideas coming out. You know, the Zoom meetings every week are great. And, you know, it's been a great experience. Carl last week took the time. Was it after the meeting, or did we just come up here? But we had a session with Carl.
Oh, that was like a week. That was like a week after the meeting. A week after the mixer. But yeah, we all three of us sat together, and we had a nice session. Absolutely,
yeah, it was great. Carl blew my mind with all types of like high level numbers and stuff. Like anybody that, man, you should definitely talk to Carl. And if you're in business, just talk to him. He'll just talk to you. So it's great. Anne Marie's been amazing. I was so lucky to have like my first or second visitation with her. And I was actually going out into the mountains, and she was all interested in seeing my photos, and so that was cool. We really bonded.
Yes.
And then Matt's been cool. We've talked a lot. It's really Matt being a founding father of this group, like 20 years in the group is crazy. One of the original presidents. And he's a super cool dude. He's real funny and keeps the meetings live. I try to keep my commercials under that 15 seconds. So I'm like, I like construction and roofing, best ever.
time.
They keep it fun. The meetings are so fun. It's just been great. So I'm really grateful to everybody.
Awesome. Great stuff. Our lovely panel here. Any questions we have for Pema or anything in general you guys want to add?
Yeah, I have a so Pema, it's interesting to know you really joined right before the pandemic, right? When you came in February or
Yes, sir.
February.
I had 2 meetings. I actually wasn't even a member ever at when I was at the diner. I went to 2 meetings at the diner, and then the next one you skip and they vote, and then it was Zoom from there on.
Wow.
Yeah, I have a question for Pema. Pema, I know that you've been going into solar a lot. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Oh yeah, solar is great. It's been great for us. It's really great for clients, great for the environment. There's just a ton of government incentives. Luckily enough, the government extended the federal tax credit. So
excellent.
Yeah, we're really lucky with that. The government really wants to see solar succeed. Eventually, everybody's going to need solar, basically. So if you get it now, you're ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
So you can actually get your roof free because you do the solar.
Well, the solar will essentially pay for your roof. Yes, exactly. 100%. Thanks for reminding me.
Awesome.
You can tell I'm a big fan of Pema.
You're the best. You're the best. I'm so grateful for Andy to meet her.
Great stuff, guys. And I do want to remind you, we are live here and we can answer your questions live. So don't be bashful. If you have something you want to add, put it in the comment section. We can answer it live. Let's make sure Steve's still awake. Steve, still awake?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Steve, you have anything
I want to, a testimonial to Pema.
Nice.
You know, we all want to get tips. We want to get tips. We want to make sales. But when you give somebody a tip, you want to know that the next day they're going to follow up right away, you know, and it makes you look good. And that happened with Pema. I gave him a tip for some roof. He was there the next day. With his crew, or your crew was there. And so it made me look good. And you look very professional. Appreciate it.
Thanks a lot, Steve. You're the best.
Great job, Steve. Do any of our lovely panelists here have anything you want to ask Steve while he's still here?
I'd like to add something for Steve. Steve is mutually working with us, and I'm super excited because Steve does insurance. You know, there's a lot of insurance people in the group, but he's helping us with health insurance. And we had talked to a couple other people and this and that. And Steve just gave me such great information. It was amazing information. And you know, it's just, I want to work with Steve and
Cool.
That's what I got to say. He's been great. So I can't wait.
Thank you.
Awesome. Great stuff, guys. Great stuff, guys.
Yeah, I could say one thing about it. So when you know, especially when we were all younger, like, you know, in nobody's doing as much business as they are now when they're 10 years, 15 years, 20 years younger, right? And everyone's hungry for business. And Steve was a calming force in LeTip back then. You see this class act calm guy. He's always been that way, you know.
Yeah.
In fact, John Wilkins' father brought him into the group.
That's right.
And somebody else had brought in an insurance guy at the same time. And so John Wilkins' father, Bob, said to me, "No, tell him to send that guy home. I got the best guy coming." And Steve is such a nice guy that they were able to figure out how they could both coexist within the group.
Wow,
that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had a speak off at the time.
Yeah.
Two life insurance, myself and the other guy. And the other guy, he was really mostly into the group insurance. He's a decent guy. I said, well, why don't we both join? You know, the other guy could do the group insurance and I'll do the life insurance. It worked out for a while, and eventually he left. But it's interesting, you know, with Wilkins. I knew Bob Wilkins with Prudential 30 years ago. He was a member of LeTip. He kind of brought me in, and then he left. And I called his office and we got his son in. We got John Wilkins, and he just He's a killer with the property and casualty stuff. So
Excellent, yeah.
it's good to help everybody out.
Great stuff.
Good.
So, Steve, last question for you, and we won't let you sleep in the green room anymore. What are you excited about? What are you most excited about when it comes to the future of LeTip?
Well, you know what? It's going to be nice. Two things. It's going to be nice when we can go back and meet at the Coach House Diner in person. Because there's a lot of interaction before and after and during the meeting. But I just, you discovered that there's a great benefit to doing the Zoom meetings too. I mean, some of the presentations had just been awesome. We had somebody giving a presentation at their place of business. We had Dr. Alberg doing Botox. That was his presentation, done remotely, obviously, but you could not do that at the Coach House Diner.
No,
So I'm wondering, in the future, when we can go back, if we may want to say, well, look, let's meet at the Coach House a couple of weeks a month, but do it remotely sometimes too. There's a lot of advantage to that.
That's a
And
good
again,
idea.
like I mentioned before, we have members there join a meeting from all parts of the world. On vacation, you can't do that if you're just meeting at the Coach House Diner.
Absolutely.
So,
I definitely agree with you.
Yeah, I think there's some of the things we learned during COVID that we're going to find are probably a good way to do things in the future.
I agree.
My grandkids doing the school remotely, there's some benefit to that.
Yeah, we should keep it remote, and then maybe once a month we'll go to the Coach House Diner for dinner, not for breakfast. Get a little sleep.
Hey, you know what? What would be nice too when everything goes back to normal is actually having a nice dinner, getting everybody together on a Friday night or something like that.
Absolutely.
Be nice.
Well, Steve, thank you as always for joining us. We're gonna put you down.
Do a good job.
Thank you.
Good job.
Appreciate you.
We'll see you.
All right. Thanks, Steve.
Awesome.
Have a good one. All right, lovely panel. How are we?
We're great.
Awesome. Everyone enjoying their beers?
Yeah, very good.
Yeah. We got an assortment out there. Anne-Marie chickened out on us, but it's okay.
You know what? Everybody's talking about everyone else. And the one person here that is so unique and so fantastic and does work beyond anybody I have to say in the group, and that's Doug. Undefeated Media. And that's why the name is Undefeated, because in anything he does, he's undefeated. Without a doubt.
Thank you, Amber. I appreciate that.
It's the truth.
Thank you. You're going to bring tears to my eyes.
I could add, Doug, that this is really a rewarding experience being here, and you really don't have an idea until you come and you sit here and you see yourself on camera and everything, and it's really something. Yeah, I have a million ideas, and you've given me a couple ideas to put in my head. So
let's go, baby.
Well, it was my idea to come up with the mixer.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then I picked my team. I picked Doreen. I picked Doug. The best one I could have picked was Doug. Doug goes, mixer. Oh, we're going to do this and we're going to do that. And I said, oh, boy. And it has been absolutely fantastic. Thank you, Doug.
Thank you. And that's one of the things that, we come in and we start putting out these ideas, and sometimes people get a little shocked, like, oh, what does he want to do? Right? He wants to fly a drone? What? But yeah, we just try to bring some value.
I'd like to add the same as well. I've worked with Doug. I've worked with a lot of other media people. I work with probably like 12 to 15 different marketing companies, as Doug knows, because he's now essentially my director of marketing, and we're trying to get it all under one umbrella. And it's been amazing. So not only is his content is next level. It's like Matrix, like Hollywood. I just can't believe the quality of the content they're producing, and Brian as well. Can't forget Brian.
Absolutely.
The camera.
We're going to get Brian up here soon.
Yeah. Oh God. It's been amazing. And he's got a great plan, a great vision. He's way ahead of the curve. So sometimes people are like, whoa, but it's been great. And I thank you, Doug. That's
absolutely.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate all of that. Thank you, buddy. So we definitely will get Brian up here at some point. You're at 2% on that camera, huh, Brian? I'm trying to think. We need a Thunderbolt cable somewhere. There's in the gray bag. there should be a Thunderbolt cable. Now you just got to figure out how you're going to get an extension cord to fit up there. But anyway, no, thank you so much, guys. I appreciate that. We're just trying to bring value. We're here at Undefeated Media. We're just trying to bring value to our clients and our customers. And yes, sometimes the stuff that we do suggest seems a little far out there. But would you rather do the stuff that's far out there and new and up and coming, or are you going to focus on the yellow pages? So, so we just try to do the stuff that's up and coming. Because let me tell you guys, like Budweiser, Coors, Best Buy, Mercedes, they're not thinking about doing ads on Facebook. They're not thinking about doing Instagram. They're run by, some corporate dudes that are, on the older end. So once they put their big budget into these things, that's supply and demand. It's going to raise for everyone. So we're trying to hit things cost effectively before everyone else gets onto the trend.
That's right.
So that's kind of what we do here. We do
We're
podcasting.
the trailblazers.
Yeah, absolutely. We do podcasting. We got the green screen room. We do green screen stuff. We just did a TED talk in the green screen room. We do great. Pema does some great stuff. So we capture that with the drones. We have the drones flying up. But yeah, we have fun here, and it's great when something that you love to do, like photography and video and digital marketing, and it's your passion, and it's great when you get to do it for work. So thank you guys.
Right.
Brian's pulling out all the guns here. But what else we got, guys? What's going on? Anything new or up and coming, or any events coming on you guys want to talk about? Matt?
I am co-chairing a golf outing.
There you go.
The golf outing is sold out. But the dinner is probably open. There's still some spots for the dinner, but it's the community chest of Hackensack. And what they are is that they are very interested. They run a lot of stuff for the community in not at Hackensack, Englewood rather. I'm sorry. I am on the board, but I can't believe I messed up. LeTip of Hackensack, Community Chest of Englewood. But they are what, for the most part, what you consider an umbrella organization. So people donate to the Community Chest, and then they fund meal programs within Englewood. They fund food education programs within Englewood. Teaching people about nutrition. And they actually do fund directly other charities such as Bergen Family Promise. So this is their first golf outing, and it does have a LeTip connection because John Wilkins had invited me to one of their events before the pandemic the fall of 2019, and I went to it, and then next thing I knew, he was talking to me about coming onto the board, and so I joined the board. I went to one board meeting. And the pandemic shut everything down, and everything else was Zoom. But one of the first things they wanted to do once they saw that me and John were, men that were out there in the community, and they asked the two of us to co-chair a golf outing. So John Wilkins, who is the property and casualty agent within LeTip, and myself are the co-chairs. We've both been able to recruit a lot of sponsors. I myself am the dinner sponsor. John is like a big sponsor. He's bringing a lot of foursomes, and it's going to be a great event. We have a lot of giveaways, big raffle. We can do a 50-50 and play 18 holes at White Beaches Country Club.
Great.
Yeah.
So definitely check that. And what's the quickest way to get involved?
There is a
where does she go?
Well, for the purpose of this, if you Google the Community Chest of Englewood golf outing, the link will come up. And you could go onto the URL, and the golf itself is closed, but you may be able to register for dinner. But even if you just want to see whose names are up there and who's sponsoring the event and everything like that, you could see that through the URL.
And where's the dinner going to be?
At the country club at White Beaches. Okay. Yeah.
Great stuff. Yeah. Once again, want to remind you guys, we are live, and we would love to answer any questions you may have. So please put them in the comments section. Anything else you guys want to add while we're cooking here? All right, cool.
Yeah.
If we could, we'll play one other round of Bridges Chaos. Let's get Brian in here. So if anyone's tired or whatever you guys want to do. Pem is tapping out. Who's tapping out? Matt, whoever wants. Whatever. I'm not putting pressure on
Matt's
anybody.
got better things to say than I can. 100%.
Thanks, buddy. We'll get you back.
Yeah.
I'm gonna operate the camera.
Oh yeah, shoot, Pam, you want to operate the camera? Just tilt it back and forth. Yeah, take a seat. Go nuts.
It's about to die. Actually, I couldn't get the.
You couldn't get the charger working.
It said there's an insufficient amount of power left.
Wow.
So
well, while you're getting situated, so Steve asked in the private chat. He wanted me to talk about the TED Talk. He was asking about the TED Talk. So we did film a TED Talk. So TED is a big speaking corporation convention where, speakers from around the world come in, they give their thoughts and ideas. And obviously they're not meeting anymore. So we had filmed a couple TED Talks in the studio on the green screen and made them look like they were actually on a big stage in front of people. So that was an interesting project we did. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like you to meet my right-hand man, B-Rock, also known as Brian. So Brian, why don't you tell us a little bit about how's it going at Undefeated Media and how it is to be a new member at LeTip?
I mean, it's very exciting. It really is. I graduated college last spring. Well, technically didn't get a chance to actually graduate and walk at my graduation. That's upcoming in the next week or two. But yeah, I am a recent graduate of Quinnipiac University as a media studies major, and I have a minor in film, television, and media arts. And I luckily found Doug through the 201 magazine, and I just emailed him. I emailed him and I asked if I could meet with him just to talk and see what goes on here, because his little article, it got my interest, and with the current job climate, especially in the media field, it was tough finding anything in the area. He agreed to meet up with me. We talked, and he said, "Hey, come check us out on Tuesday. We're doing a podcast. See how you like it." And it was a blast. I hadn't done anything really media related in months. It's been tough to find any work, and I had an awesome time. And I was like, "Hey, Doug, what's going on later on in the week?" And he said, "Oh, come by Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday. We're doing this, that, and the third." And it just led to more and more work over time. And now I'm working 4, 5, 6 sometimes. I mean, it really depends on the week, and it's always something new, something fresh. And he got me into LeTip. And to be honest, as a college student, you can only learn so much in the class. And being able to work with Doug firsthand as he's the boss and CEO and everything of Undefeated Media, I really get a firsthand experience of what it is to run a company, especially in the media field. And I'm learning just so much that I don't think I'd be able to learn elsewhere if I were a part of a bigger company. And just having that one-on-one time to be able to spend with Doug and learn from him, and especially learning from everybody here in LeTip. I mean, there's so many people of so many different backgrounds and professions where I'm just able to learn from the best people in their field and just broaden my horizons and meet new people. And I don't think I would have that experience without LeTip or with Undefeated Media. So very appreciative.
Great job, bud. Thank you. And I will say the quickest and easiest way to my heart is a hustler. And Brian came in, "Hey, I would love to meet you. I'm in the area. I saw the article. I'd love to get hands on, and I'd love to work with you." And that's the easiest way to my heart. I'm a hustler myself, and I'm always, always looking for the next job, and always, thinking about the future and what we can do and what we got going on. So Brian, you're a great addition to the family. You're a great addition to LeTip as well. And you guys got a question for Brian?
Yeah, I have a comment. Brian recently did a presentation, and he was speaking at LeTip, and he really showed what he can do and his ability. Also showed, what Undefeated Media is all about.
Absolutely.
And it was probably one of the best presentations that I have seen.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
You're welcome. Well done.
Awesome.
Yeah, I would say, Brian, you really seem wise beyond your years. Very mature.
Thank you.
And when you said that you just graduated college a year ago, I was really quite surprised. So
I appreciate that. Yeah. I mean, there's so much to learn. And I feel like a lot of people, at least in my generation, I don't want to speak, for everybody that's my age, but there's a lot of people kind of just going through the motions and are thinking so far ahead that they're not necessarily able to realize what's going on around them right now. And I think that, oddly enough, with COVID, it kind of made me realize that not everything is really guaranteed. I always thought, after college, I'll find a job, no problem. And there I was months into graduation. I mean, luckily I found this. I don't know what I would be doing right now if I hadn't stumbled upon Doug. I'd probably be working at Walgreens, stocking shelves with a college degree. And I never in a million years would have imagined that would be the case for me. But I'm just taking it day by day and really just trying to learn as much as I can. And master my craft, and luckily Doug has given me a chance to get hands-on and really just let me take the reins. So I really appreciate it, Doug.
Absolutely.
Wonderful.
Thank you. I don't want you to sell yourself short, Brian. Brian came to me with a reel and some work, and he was graduated top of his class in film and television. Like, don't sell yourself short. You know what you're doing, bro. Like, we don't just let anyone walk through the door. Brian knows what he's doing. So, but thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
And he definitely wouldn't be here if you didn't think that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So how we doing, guys? Everybody
We're
good?
doing great,
Everybody good?
as always.
Anything else to
Always.
add? I mean, we are cooking. Brian, you've been on the other side of the camera,
Yeah.
making sure we're lined up. How did anything you want to add about what you've seen tonight?
I mean, it's been awesome to have Kim Marie here. Just seeing how much there is to grow within LeTip. I mean, starting in as a president of your group or whatever. There is so much room to grow. There's so much opportunity in front of everybody here, and just the relationships that you're able to build within LeTip. Seeing the relationship that Pema has with Anne-Marie, Doug, and everybody, Matt. Just seeing everybody be a part of a greater family almost. There is obviously the business end of things, but
Of course.
the friendships that you form and the relationships you form here are honestly it's very impressionable. Especially on,
Invaluable.
yeah, it really is. Just seeing the 20 plus year relationships people have within the group it's impressive, and it's something that I hope to be a part of for a very long time.
Excellent.
Great stuff. Well said. Did you take public speaking in school too?
I actually did. I did take a public speaking class, and it was
Yeah,
one of the most
mandatory. Yeah,
one of the most terrifying experiences of my college career, but I got through it.
It seems like you learned a lot.
Great stuff. Great stuff. Well, we are coming to the tail end. Last chance. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments section. Anything else, guys? Anything we're coming up? No,
think we're
everybody's
good. I
good.
think we're good.
Pam, are you good too?
I
Yeah.
have an 18-year-old son. So,
Yeah.
we asked what's coming up, so I might as well share. I have an 18-year-old son, and I have a 13-year-old son and an 11-year-old son. And the little guys are in 6th and 7th grade, respectively. But the 18-year-old guy is a senior in high school, so he'll be graduating. So all the same things that you kind of went through,
Yeah.
having said his junior year was pandemic, his senior year was kind of partially pandemic. Now he's
Right.
going to school 4 days a week. The middle schoolers are going to school 5 days a week, and he's going to graduate. And with everything that's happened, he decided, much to his mother's dismay, he decided to, instead of going to college right away, he is going to go to Israel and do a year and a half in the army
Wow.
without knowing Hebrew. So
For
hopefully,
the the Israel army,
Oh,
not
that's-
even our army.
No,
He's
no.
fighting for the other team.
well,
They're an ally.
ally, exactly,
right.
good friend.
Better hope
I
we
want
stay
to go
that
to
way.
Israel. I want to go
Wow.
to Israel so
Oh,
bad.
yeah, it's
I
beautiful.
watch the podcast in Jerusalem every single day.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I went to Israel 5 years ago, and whether you're Jewish or Christian, there's a lot of
Doesn't-
meaning. There were Muslim
Exactly.
too. So I happen to be Jewish, and but one of the tours, when we took what's called the tunnel tour, you kind of go under the Western Wall where the Temple Mount is. You go underneath, and they
I
show
know
you
the Temple Mount.
the,
Yeah.
the base of it and everything, and
Yeah.
all the history. And you come out, and all of a sudden you see where you are, and you're on the Via Dolorosa. This is where Jesus' last walk was.
Exactly.
So it's a lot of, and I saw the Holy Tomb where Jesus is buried.
Yes.
There's a lot of amazing
Yeah.
Christian sights to see.
And you can see the house where Mary lived.
Yeah, you can go to
Yes.
Bethlehem, which
Yeah.
is now in the West Bank,
Yes.
right? So it's in the territories.
Right.
But yeah, there's a lot of struggle over there, but it is an amazing place to go to. And
Yeah.
yeah.
I can't. I want to go so bad.
Credit.
So Steve is actually commenting. He commented in the private chat. I can't bring it in from the private chat. If it was in the comments, I could pull it up. But Steve from the green room says, "Tell your son congratulations, and you should be very proud of him."
Thank you, Steve.
I mean, credit to your son for doing something. I mean, that's a hard decision to make, right?
Yeah.
It's.
Yeah.
I'm sure all of
That's
his.
great.
He
Yeah.
could have went to college.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sure all of his friends are all following very similar paths, and for him to make a big decision like that, I mean,
Yeah.
it's definitely admirable.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it. I don't think I have the courage to do something like that. So that's great.
Great stuff, guys. Well, I think we've come to the tail end of this. I want to remind you guys that this is interactive. So if you've watched this tonight and you're interested in joining LeTip, please don't hesitate to message me either at LeTip International on the Facebook and YouTube channel that we are on right now, or LeTip of Hackensack. If you are in the New Jersey, Bergen County area, there are open slots, and we are looking for new members. So please message me at LeTip of Hackensack, Facebook or YouTube. We're global right now on this stream. Thank you guys for coming. And we'll catch you guys next time. Let's get our music.
Thank you, Doug.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, I can't forget. Thank you to my wonderful panel here for joining us. We've done some musical chairs, but thank you guys for coming in the studio. We love to have people in the studio. It's great to have remote people, but it's also great to share a couple beers with the crew here. So thank you guys again, and we'll catch you next time.